Good afternoon, you guys. What I wanted to do is I invited Dave to come in real quick because we've had to move practice time up today, so there's not a lot of time, but I know Jeff distributed some information today. Dave has been honored for his contribution to the game with the Jim Fullerton Award by the American Hockey Coaches Association. And what that represents is really a lifelong commitment to the game for somebody other than a coach in whatever role they're in. And so in my mind, Dave is the Scotty Bowman of athletic training, and it's a well-deserved honor and recognition. So I thought maybe you can make a comment about it, Dave, and if anybody has any questions, now would be a good time before the guys get in here.
Well, it certainly is a great honor to be selected by the Coaches Association as an athletic trainer for years in service, which has been 37 years that I've participated, 5 at Ferris and 32 years here at Michigan State University. Coming off the heels of getting inducted into the National Athletic Trainers Association Hall of Fame in June, which I knew about. This award I did not know anything about. Tom Newton certainly wrote the letter to get me nominated, and we knew about it at the Great Lakes Tournament when by email, text messages it came out. It was a huge shock, but what a great, humbling, great honor. Again, to work the game, hone your skills with this game, be a part of it at the college ranks. Certainly I've done the Olympics, I've done College USA All-Star games, but to be honored and is a great privilege.
I was going to say, Dave, in a business or profession that doesn't have a lot of rewards outwardly, you've had quite a year, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been a great year, and again, it's been very humbling. Athletic trainers do not get the so to speak, the outward awards that you're talking about. That's for coaches and players, but it certainly is nice to be honored.
Why have you stayed at Michigan State so long?
Well, I would say that back to you, Michigan State University is a great institution, but everything that is coming to me now is Michigan State University gets the credit for it, really. The people you come in contact, the things I've learned here is all due to the university. All I did was kind of be the tool to take it further. But it was all here for the taking, and I dug in and did that.
Anything else? Okay,
good.
Cool.
Thank you very much. Yep, thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. The recognition is made in April down in Naples, so a nice place to be, too. That'll be a nice trip for Dave. So anyway, looking ahead, obviously we had an exhibition game. It was part of the process of us, looking at our game and seeing what we can put together. I thought in that game that was a good game. We played against a team that's very talented and skilled and played at a high pace, which was good. I think it's good as part of the preparation of what we're in store for in the coming, not just weekend, but in the coming weeks. It was disappointing to see us give up a late lead again, but I guess the positive that I'm trying to dwell on is that we bounced back and got a winning goal to win the thing in overtime. So I think that's a positive. We got the opportunity to play some guys more minutes than normal, and I think that was good to get that experience. Somebody asked me today, we could in an exhibition game like this dress more players, and I elected not to, so I could get more minutes to those guys that were dressed that maybe haven't been getting as many minutes. I wanted to get them the experience, so I think that's all good. As far as playing Ohio State is concerned, they're a team that's on a good roll. They're really growing and confident. They look like they're playing with confidence. They got off to a slow start, and I'm not sure why, but it doesn't matter at this point because they're playing real well. They play at a high pace. They've been able to demonstrate they're scoring lots of goals, and they have a good power play. Very good power play. So that's what we're preparing for. I thought last week we had a good week of practice. I thought yesterday's was very good, very spirited. good energy, good pace, good compete, and I look for more of that today, tomorrow. We're practicing earlier today, normal practice time tomorrow, and then we'll have an early practice Thursday, and then we bust to Ohio State. That's one of the, other than Ann Arbor, that's the other spot that we bust to in the Big Ten. So with that, what you got? Barnesy, can I get a water, please?
Coach, your team has yet to win a road game this season, and especially coming off an emotional win against the U.S. National Team Development Program. How important is it for your team to pick up a win this weekend?
Well, obviously it's important for us to win regardless of where we play. And again, I think it's more about the mental approach that we have to the game, whether it's home or away, to play 60 minutes and play in a way that gives us a good chance to win the game. So I'm focusing, and we're trying to get our team to focus way more on the process of preparing to win and then playing to win and letting the results take care of themselves, because they usually do. And so obviously you want to win every game. Where we are in our season, we need to win as much as possible. But I think more importantly right now is to focus on the things that lead to winning to give us the best chance, and that's what we're doing.
Also, now that you've had a chance to look over the tape of the exhibition game, what are the things you thought your team did well, and what are the areas that you want to improve on?
I thought we killed penalties well again. I thought some of the line combinations were fairly effective. Mason Appleton was injured, so he didn't play in that game. So we had to jockey some things around. I mean, in the perfect world, I'd love to be able to stabilize some lines across the board, really, not just our top two lines, but 4 lines if we can. But I think a part of that is getting a consistency in performance from players. I thought JT Stingland maybe had his best effort since he's been here. And not just the goal. I liked his game. He played with pace. He played with tenacity. He was strong on the puck. He moved it to the right spot. He made good decisions. And even in mistakes, because of the pace that he played with, he was able to overcome them. And so I thought that was positive, and I hope that connects with him, because we've been trying to get that to connect with him. And that was, if he can do that, he makes our lineup deeper. And we're looking for a consistency in that. So that's what I liked. What I didn't like is I thought we got real sloppy in the third period. I thought we made a lot of turnovers in what we call danger zone areas that normally when you do that comes up and bites you. And it did. It did. It changes momentum. It makes you have to come back harder into your zone, and that's a harder thing to do than attack the other zone. So that's an area that we've got to focus on our game, because I think that's been a consistency in giving up late game leads. We've got to improve that.
I'm not in a position to crow about an exhibition win, but
nope.
The way this season is gone, didn't your players just need to feel good after a game? It's been a month since they smiled after a game.
Yes, I do. And I thought they handled it the right way. I thought that, it wasn't like they were all excited. But, I'm sure after giving up late goals to give up a lead yet again, let's not pretend that doesn't weigh on you, because it does. And so then to bounce back and score a goal that wins the game, I think that was a real positive. So it was something to come off after a week of practice that we thought was pretty good. You get a good result in the game, and then it helps you prepare for yesterday. And I thought yesterday was a real good practice. So it's something to build on, and we're looking for those positives to build on.
So you got, 12 games left, and no time like now to make some hay, I guess. Obviously, you said last week nobody's throwing in the towel, but I guess what is your mission now, the way this season has gone, for the last dozen games?
Well, I think what's important for us right now is these are the last 2 games of the first half of the Big Ten season. Then when we move beyond this weekend, which it's too early to focus on, that's really the stretch run in the final 2 months, of which, we play everybody in the league, most of which are at home. And so, to me, this is an important weekend for us to try to find a way to develop that mentality of being a dangerous team. Well, what does that mean? That can mean lots of different things. And so for us, we have to go find a way to create a game that makes it very difficult for our opponents to play, and one that we can believe in and ultimately get results in. And if we look too far down the road, that's going to make it very difficult to do. We just have to go look at that next game, that next period, that next shift to grow into ourselves and grow in confidence. And we've been talking about that for quite some time. So we're coming off of an overtime exhibition win. We have that in perspective, but it is something to build off of. And, that's what we have to do.
You want to be tough to play against.
We want to be tough to play against. We got to be very difficult to play against. And to summarize it, that's right. We want to become a dangerous team, one that people, could think in different ways. That, oh man, we're playing against Michigan State, and I know their season hasn't gone the way they wanted to, but that makes sometimes those teams very dangerous. That sometimes creates an internal pressure. I know being on the other side of that, playing on teams that were really good, and you're playing against a team that's struggling, and it's like, hey, you got a high expectation on yourself to win, and so now you put added pressure on yourself. Well, we need to twist that and turn that into an advantage, and build off of something like that. So it's got to be one game, one period, one shift at a time.
Coach, I know you just talked about doing it one shift at a time, but looking forward to Detroit and against Michigan, how do you think your players are going to respond in a different atmosphere and such a high-level game?
Ask me that next week. We're not paying attention to Detroit. We're paying attention to Columbus.
How do you feel, though, with the new trophy, the Iron D trophy? Is that going to raise more stakes to that game, though?
I think that will be neat, but there again, I'd rather talk about that next week.
Coach, going back to your previous statement, it sounded a lot like getting an underdog mentality, and to borrow a phrase from Coach D'Antonio, to hunt that other team. Are you starting to relish being an underdog against some of the other Big Ten teams and the opportunity to play the upset? I'm not
so sure that I'd say I relish it. I'd prefer not to be the underdog team per se, but you have to earn your way to be the hunted, and we haven't done that yet. But I think if that's what it takes to get the kind of results, the kind of mentality, the kind of attitude that we need, then that's what we need to do,
Also, Mason Appleton's status for this weekend. I know he sat out last weekend for injury.
He practiced yesterday. Looked great. I thought he really looked good and had a lot of jump in his step. So, assuming he works his way through practice all week without any issue, he should be good, but he was good. Okay. Thanks, guys.